I'm all set. All right, thank you, fellow Toastmasters, for allowing me this opportunity to speak. And as Cassie shared, I'm going to be talking about the power of the mind. So we'll start off by asking, does anyone know approximately how many thoughts we have a day? Between 50 and 70,000, that sound about right? So obviously, we don't have to reconcile 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day because we would go mad, right? So what happens with all of those thoughts? 95% of our day is ran by our subconscious mind. Crazy, I know. Because how does that benefit us? Well, the mundane tasks that we do, lifting our hands, talking, vocalizing, the subconscious mind takes care of all of that, right? But you had to feed this brilliant computer that information because that's exactly what your mind is. It's the most brilliant computer ever created, but it's only as good as the information that we feed it. For instance, when you were born and you took your first breath, was there someone there going, breathe, breathe, breathe? Well, no, thank goodness the subconscious mind takes care of that, right? But imagine with me for a minute that if you grew up in a household and the only people that you saw were, in terms of walking, were people that drug their leg. Because I can almost guarantee you that if that's all that you saw, you're going to drag your leg because that's the information you fed the computer. So again, for things like walking, breathing, talking, that's great. But when it comes to the subconscious mind and the processes that it created before we were age 7 can become pretty cumbersome. For instance, did anyone in the room have someone in their childhood that used the statement, you should be ashamed of yourself? Did anybody have that? Right? So did I. Well, as a child, we have no logic. So we take everything for face value, literally, right? So if someone tells you enough times that you should be ashamed of yourself, or they tell you in a way that you experience a tremendous amount of emotion, your brilliant mind is going to create a process around that very moment. Because one of your mind's jobs is to protect you, take you from pain to pleasure. So that was a painful moment. So your mind is going to create a process around that to try and make sure that you never suffer pain around that particular event. So you literally could go through life having triggers that send you right back to that very moment, that physiological response, that emotion, and you won't even know why. A person can literally walk around feeling shame. I'll give you another example. Johnny's in his high chair. Nona's making homemade pasta. She's making dinner for everybody that's coming over, and she loves her grandchild. And she's making this pasta, and as children, we like bland food. So pasta's a winner. So Nona is cooking, and she's feeding Johnny pasta, and Johnny is loving it because he can tell that it makes Nona really happy to eat that pasta, right? So he just keeps eating it, whatever she wants to feed him. Next thing you know, Johnny, is only like 4 years old and he's eating a half a pound of pasta. But he feels good because Nona is showing him all of this love through this food. So this develops a process that food takes Johnny from pain to pleasure, right? So as Johnny goes through life, when he has a difficult moment, every time that he resorts to the food to fill the void or to take away the pain, he's reinforcing that process, just like Google does. When we talk about something and the next thing you know, Google's it's coming at you like crazy, right? That's what the mind does. So the more you confirm it, the more the mind's going to go to it. So now Johnny's 40 years old and he can't lose weight and he can't figure out why, right? So unless he starts paying attention to that 95% of processes going on in the mind, he may never be able to lose that weight because he's got that process going on, right? So you see the power of the mind. This 3 pounds between your ears can either wreck your world or really make you successful. So the purpose of this speech is to spend a day and pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention when you're, going to have that snack. Why are you really having it, right? Whatever you're trying to change, pay attention to your thought processes around those events, reframe them, eradicate those old ones and replace them. And that is how you'll see the power of the mind. Thank you.